That is fantastic. But it is time to take a look. SJR versus 228 Blackwatch. SJR has that Warhammer 6R back on the field, but a lot of the same mechs that we've been seeing in Tourmaline Desert so far from SJR. On 228's side, they have a Warhammer 6R themselves, bringing the dual Hunchback 2CAs and dual Jenner 2CAs. Timberwolf. Is this a mirror deck? Oh, except for the fact that the Hunchbacks for SJR are both ballistics. Alright, let's take a look. Let's do it.
Another quick shout out to chat. Barantor trying to tell me that Tourmaline Desert is pronounced Tourmaline Desert. I don't think so.
And it's called decals instead of decals, right?
Yeah. and Tina Therma.
Tina Therma. Can't the thing roll downwards for once about the giveaway tool? Alright, Jaeger with the Gauss dual PPCs. Gauss PPC coming out of the Kodiaks. Warhammer 6R with PPC Ultra 5s. Very fun Warhammer build. I love that one. I do like the 4 LPL better, but if I'm looking for a change of pace. 3 Ultra AC5s coming out of Piemaker in that Hunchback 2C. Ghost bringing the EMP special 4 Ultra AC2s. It's starting to grow on people, I think.
Yeah.
Uncle Russ alone going for an immediate cap on Kappa. We have an Alpha Bravo set up for 228th, and it looks like a very aggressive move by 228th, sending their assaults and heavies right in Alpha to Alpha. Jaeger going up, taking a little bit of initial trade. He got some hits in on Ed and Panic Button.
SJR are not quite set up yet either.
They are not, but they've started to back up, and they have a little bit of time left to do it. Kappa is under siege right now by Uncle Russ, but he's being approached by Queenblade. Of course, Queenblade scoring that double kill in that, what was it, 2v3 scenario?
Yeah, versus House of Lords.
So he's got a little bit of spotlight on him already. Let's see if he can
something to keep in mind there. 228 was playing very well Saturday night. Always been a good comp team, playing very, very well though.
They're gonna definitely need to bring that and bring that very strong here. Looks like we got a right movement by 228, very aggressive around the right side. They're cutting off. Oh my gosh, what happened to Uncle Russ? He lost a shoulder already. He got caught out on that. Got, I think, a PPC to the back shoulder. I don't even think it hit him in the front. Taking off half his mech. He's going to join T-Fun against Queenblade, but one last bite's going to be there. And they are outgunned in this exchange here. They got to be careful. Let's take a quick look to see if anything's happening in the backfield before we move on. Greem and R13 right up in the fold there. They're going to start trading in. But I want to watch this light fight and see whether or not Uncle Russ and T-Fun are going to be able to take these guys out. It's 6 pulse lasers to 12 at this point. And Uncle Russ, he still has a lot of armor left. He's lost some speed and lost a lot of firepower. But his left leg is open.
And it looks like they are losing that light fight right now. At the meantime, though, 228 has pulled off. It looks like they might be trying to move back to support a little bit. Maybe get some shots in on those lights.
I wonder, they've got the 3 cap to 0, and if these lights go down, 228 can sit comfortably and just play the cap game. They have no reason
I think they should
to play aggressively. T-Fun is pretty much all they've got left here. Both legs wide open. Queenblade and one last bite jumping on him, and they take him down. And they actually got somebody in the backfield. R13
The Hunchbacks are coming back.
Yep, he's got the large pulse in there, and Uncle Russ is about to go down. Now. And he goes down. So SJR is definitely going to have to be aggressive, losing both of their light mechs. That's not very good for SJR.
They are pushing on Theta right now.
Tickets are rolling in favor of 228. Steel Jaguar is still sitting at a big fat 0. They're going to have to play hard and get the cap win after everybody's dead, essentially.
And this forces them not only to be aggressive, but be aggressive quickly. They cannot let tickets bleed out quickly on this. And those lights are probably going to go to Gamma.
If they do, though, they're not going to be in this fight. It's going to be a 6 versus 6, but there's 4 mechs for 228 sitting up in front here, and the entirety of SJR is starting to get very close. They're going to either have to get these mechs set up in a firing line in the backfield or recall them. It looks like they're backing the main body up, but they might be able to get caught out. Jaeger peeking around the outside. He's going to start getting some back shots in on the retreating 228 mechs. That might give them a little bit of a lead on damage. This one definitely isn't over yet. Steel Jaguar is going to start bringing their weapons to bear, and if they can add the damage up, it's going to flip in the other directions. Here comes
They
a strike
actually
coming in on a
sneak
magician.
Epsilon with the hunchback as well. But failed to even neutralize Theta. They now have neutralized Theta. I think
Honestly,
they pulled off it a little too
at
soon.
this point, I don't even think it was worth having Epsilon in any way, shape, or form.
I agree.
I don't think it's going to add to anything. I think at this point, they're not going to win on caps. They're only going to win on kills unless they kill everyone first and then win on caps, of course. G-Man up on the left side here. Defunct
And the Magician
gets a kill on
goes
Magician.
down.
Great strikes coming in as 228 continues to pull up, and 228 has taken quite a bit of damage. It's starting to add up. If Steel
And
Jaguar
they
can
are
start
rolling
killing
up
some
here.
mechs.
Rolling up on G-Man in the Kodiak. 3 mechs now walked around the corner, and G-Man is all alone.
He
Hunchback
has a little bit of
finally
help
comes
from
into
Ghost
play.
behind him. Ghost is 100% fresh, and he's pounding some of these UX. I think he might have had a little bit of a jam there, but he's working on Panic Button right in the chest right now. Sitting at 93%, he might be able to take Panic Button down, who's just trying to spread the damage and let the rest of his team do some work. But the lights are now jumping on Ghost, and they should be able to take him out relatively quickly. Panic Button ended up self-destructing, however. Pie Maker up 2v1, getting shot by Ed, who overheats, and he's walking up with those Ultra
all
AC5s.
wrong for SJR right now.
Who's the last one left? Jaeger?
Jaeger
coming around up that choke point right now. If he can land some key kills, he might be able to flip it back. Pie Maker is able to take one of them down, but goes down himself. Another overheat by Greem, and he is open center torso, but Jaeger's starting to get hit by 3 mechs, the 2 lights and the hunchback, and he's probably going to go down relatively quick.
And he's
drop one
self-destructed.
goes in favor of 228. Wow. What a fight. What a
228
fight.
has been playing very well, and they continue to do so.
That it all started with that big light fight. But
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
it all started with that PPC shot into the back of, what was that, Uncle Russ? That was huge.
Yeah. Losing a torso immediately.
That was huge. That was gigantic. Take a look at the damage here. G-Man pulling 570, last one alive, doing everything that he could. Ended up self-destructing right at the end. 109 coming out of Ed in the opposite timber. But Uncle Russ being held to 149, that's big. Great damage across the board from everybody, though. The ballistics for SJR, they were trying to do some work. Pie Maker able to get 3 kills. It started pulling it back. I think he was running the Ultra AC2 build. Jams on that suck, though. You know, that Ultra AC2 build, it's pretty good for peeking, and I think that's what EMP likes to use it for, but it has a little bit of brawl capability. But UAC2s, Clan UAC2s, all UACs right now have the same jam delay. And I think varying jam chances, but same jam delay. And if you jam 1 or 2 of those, or even all of them, I've had quad jams with those, 5 seconds you're out. And that's a lot of DPS lost in that UAC2 build. And when you're up in a brawl and you see all those weapons turn red, it's agonizing. It is agonizing. You're sometimes shooting with just half your mech almost constantly. And it can do some work in a brawl, especially if you're left alone. But compare that to like UAC 5s, UAC 10s and stuff. Those are superior for a reason. But the big thing is the distance that UAC 2s can reach, and the speed of the projectile, and I think that's what makes that strong. But not when you're face to face like that. It is distracting though. It does kind of shake you up a little bit when you get hit by it, for sure. Well, we're gonna do another giveaway. And let's do it. Standard mech pack. 4th one of the day. Got a lot of 228 lovers in the chat. A lot of take our energy to 228. No doubt the underdog in this one, in seeding at the very least. Laser Vomit, congratulations. Send Bandit P17 a whisper with the mech pack that you want and your in-game name. Alright, let's go back to the replay. That was an exciting one for sure.
Yeah. Like you said, that early damage to Uncle Russ, and looks like some of the people in chat agreeing, critical to getting that match over. Those Hunchbacks were very supportive in that light fight, both at the beginning and the end.
I think we're about to see that critical hit here. You can see them moving in to intercept those lights are kind of meandering. I think that was R13 and Greem over there. But that wasn't the PPC, though. I think that was a Timberwolf. Was that... Trying to see who made that big hit. It's hard to say. Let me go back and I want to see who made that hit, because that was big, and that was long range with that too. I think it was this PPC shot. Oh no, he's still hurt at this point. So right, yeah, it's that PPC shot right there. Who was that? I want to see it. Who are you? It's the Kodiaks. I think that's Panic Button. Panic Button with a Gauss PPC. I don't know what made contact, maybe all of it or what, but it took half of that mech out. Panic Button, big hits. Big hits, but that is the start of it. So then Uncle Russ going to join T-Fun. They did not recall. They went in and they wanted to fight. Maybe it's because they didn't want to run through that gauntlet again, but... 9 small pulse versus 12, and definitely a lower run speed for Uncle Russ, and I'm sure lost some heat sinks. I mean, it's just fighting at a massive disadvantage here, and one last fight and Queen Blade come up, and they decide they're going to go the distance, and they start working it down. They really started focusing the legs on T-Fun, splitting up into a 1v1, but then deciding to go in together and take T-Fun out. Fantastic light play there by 228.
And a clutch shot, like you said at the beginning, to take out that torso. Otherwise, it could have been a completely different story. It could have been
completely different. I mean, Uncle Russ and T-Fun are arguably two of the best light pilots in this game. And starting out at half a mech, I think, is big. But, that was such a game changer in that light fight. And then, of course, just to top it off, let's have a Hunchback come in with those LPLs and just...
Yeah.
Rip Uncle Russ to shreds. So a big start for 228, but that was kind of the start of SJR's push. They obviously knew they had to go. They started going, and 228 wasn't really set up to receive yet, so it gave SJR the ability to start getting in close. And let's just skip ahead real quick. 228 pulling out. He's got a little bit of back shots going on here. They start doing a lot of damage to 228. You can see their percentages dropping. Even though they're down 2 mechs, they're making some really good trades here. But they are split, and that big push right up the middle to jump on G-Man, he had ballistic support behind him, and he stayed alive a decent amount of time. The ballistics were able to do some significant damage in the meantime. Panic Button going face-to-face with Ghost. Actually... the face-to-face might have kind of saved him right here. Ghost using Panic Button as cover, but getting jumped on also by those lights. Panic Button ending up overheating, but those lights get in there, finish the job. And then kind of one by one, Steel Jaguar started moving up this path here, trying to intercept. Pie Maker going for Greem, but missing Edmeister sitting there overheated. Actually ran up into Greem and ended up getting taken out himself. And then Jaeger comes up, and I think he self-destructs here as well. So, big win for 228, but they're going to have to do it again if they want to knock SJR out of the regional finals. Both teams in lobby and are readied up. Let's take a look. So SJR, Team 1, that's what they were just a second ago, right? This is the same teams as before, right?
SJR was... yeah, they were Team 1, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So no changes in that terms, but Ghost switching from a Ballistic Hunchback to a Hunchback 2CA Energy. 228, any big changes? No, it looks identical to me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's get in and take a look. We are up over 900 viewers now. Hell yeah. Great to see you guys all out here.
we go. SJR needs to win or go home.
All right. Drop 2 Tourmaline. A lot of Gauss PPC. We got Ultra AC10s for Ruza. Piemaker and Ghost. Ghost bringing large pulse lasers. They're kind of matching the LPLs coming out of 228. They brought an LPL mech as well. But kind of a reset for the SJR mechs. They're going to have another chance at this. Is 228 going to get another lucky shot? Like I can't even call it lucky, but that was a hell of a shot to really start that off on the right foot for them. But an immediate movement by Steel Jaguar up to stage. They didn't back off, but 228 is coming on hard towards stage. We might have a little bit of an engagement from the right side if they're not careful. SJR is eyes right, but those lights are right up on Theta. And SJR is going to be super careful as they cross here. Actually, 228 sending their guys up onto stage, but that's kind of allowing some of these front Steel Jaguar mechs the opportunity to cross unimpeded. G-Man and Jaeger doubling back now.
A little bit of traffic jam for G-Man and Jaeger. That's not good.
Jaeger going face to face with a lot of these 228 mechs. They really got to start laying some of this fire down to help Jaeger and G-Man out. But it looks like they've stalled out the 228 push and they've just begun this mid-range poke. Just a massive amount of fire going back and forth. Ruza taking some shots to the CT. It's almost
I don't like this position right now for SJR. Not a lot of cover. They've got to try and fire uphill against that little ridge line.
One last bite harassing from on high with those small pulse lasers, already getting some work done. But a very tight spread by SJR here, getting a little bit surrounded by 228. They did put some damage out. Greem in a Hunchback. Right torso is one shot.
Kodiak 3 beat up right now. Finally, G-Man arrives with Jaeger, but they basically took the long way around to not put a lot of damage out.
T-Fun and Uncle Rush just keeping an eye on one last bite on that right side, but a much tighter firing line for Steel Jaguar now, and they're starting to toss some of this damage right back into 228's face. And we're seeing the numbers start to bleed back in the other direction, but Steel Jaguar definitely needs to keep it up, and they need to stop bumping into each other, or else they're going to have some big issues. T-Funked coming up the right side. G-Man getting a good look at him, and he's going to get a lot of return fire. That was a bad trade.
Huge.
He did get some initial fire out, but it looks like he lost his right shoulder somehow. I mean, he still has his arm, apparently. But he's half a mech at this point, or at least, how is he half a mech with an XL engine? Is he running standard?
It might be the.
I don't know how. Yeah, it might be. Maybe he's a spitball away from death. But SJR coming up to finish him off, and there it is.
Jaeger one shot,
finishing off that left shoulder, taking him off, taking him out, getting some really good shots on one last bite as he crosses back to his team, landing some of those pinpoint weapons, knocking him down to 39%. Uncle Russ
SJR getting a little more aggressive right now, and I think they can afford to be with how some of the damages are. Greem goes down in the Hunchback.
He had a weak shoulder, and they must have been able to finish him the rest of the way off. But
Panic Butt down in the Kodiak. This is going in SJR's way right now. The aggressiveness paying off.
They got to be careful, though. Any big mistakes could definitely cost them. R13 down in the arena pit right now. Ghost trading LPL's long range into some of those mechs on the backfield, but R13 is still a threat. They can't ignore him. Piemaker up on top, throwing some ballistics into him, down to 45%. Center torso is open. There's another light mech joining down in the arena.
Chrisman down as well. The light pushed up on Chrisman in the Kodiak.
Ed is about to get jumped by T-Fun. He has a little bit of armor left on that timber, but I don't think he knows that T-Fun is coming right up behind him. 2 more quick kills for SJR, and this one's definitely going in favor of SJR. Evening it up 1-1 on the series. And we're going to go to Canyon Network again.
There we go. The end. SJR refusing to go home just yet, and we will have a drop 3.
Oh, wow. SJR definitely commanding the field there, going in aggressively at the start. I was a little worried as they approached stage, and 228 approached stage as well. But 228 going for the high ground up stage. But that little bit of a maneuver, if they stayed down near Theta, they could have mauled Steel Jaguar as they crossed. And I think that was a lucky break for Steel Jag. Being able to get set up in that firing lane unopposed. So 228 opting for the high ground and then starting to trade in from top down. But Steel Jag's able to set up a really tight shoulder-to-shoulder firing lane, and
not only that,
bring
but
it back.
G-Man and Jaeger were out of the fight because they got kind of bumped up and had to go around the spire to join the rest of SJR over there. But 228 not pushing the advantage with essentially 275 tons out of the battle.
I didn't get a chance to see what happened to Queenblade, but held to 80 damage. I want to say he was alive relatively late into that, but
the last kill.
He was. But One Last Bite was up there getting a little bit of scratching, doing a little bit of harassing, but good movements by T-Fun and Uncle Russ to keep them out of the keep him at bay, basically. Weren't allowing any sort of backcore maneuvers by these light mechs. Good support by T-Fun and Uncle Russ, and then they were able to get in and help clean up. Good damage across the board by SJR. Hoo-yah! Panic button held to 153. That's uncharacteristic as well when he's in that Kodiak. Alright. Now, that means I'm going to have to do a roll. Who wants to be Team 1? We're going to add SJR and 228. Here we go. Team 1 on Canyon Network.
Now these last couple North American matches determined not to be decided in 2. I like it.
That's exactly the way I want it. I'll tell you that right now. This is fantastic. And 228 will be Team 1 on Canyon Network. And while we're at it, let's do a giveaway. For a standard backpack, I believe this is our 5th one. Yep, 5th one of the night. As PGI's giving mech packs away like crazy during this tournament. So definitely happy a lot of you guys continue to tune in, getting your chance at winning. And the winner is Oberon either that or Oberon 3 or something like that. Oberon Oberoni, I don't know. Congratulations. If anything, I am the worst at pronouncing names. I mean, I'm just the worst. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I am terrible.
I'll agree with that last statement, but continue.
All right, let's take a look at the replay while these teams get set up in the lobby. All right, so like I was saying, initial movement, SGR very aggressive across stage, but 228 opting to send their heaviest mechs up top. They did have a Kodiak down below, but they were a little bit split. Did start getting some shots in, but I think they could have gotten a lot more if they had a firing line set up right here. So Steel Jaguar getting away with it. Now this traffic jam and then Jaeger going chest to chest. I was extremely worried that 228 was going to continue their aggression upstage and take those two out, but they stopped and began trading. Allowing those two to just continue to make a presence on that right side. They ended up backing down and then getting harassed by the light, but got out safely. So we had a 4-mech firing lane down there on the left side, but then they get joined by G-Man and Jaeger, and they get the backup of T-Fun and Uncle Russ on that right side. So they don't have to worry about that right side anymore. They can set up 6 mechs abreast, basically, in this firing lane and just start doing some work against 228. Definitely winning the trades, dealing quite a bit of damage, opening up some mechs, and ultimately able to just start nailing some key kills. Allowing them to get aggressive, move up, and then finish the job. So they are trading at this point. Lights held up here. I think they might have gotten... Okay, so Defunct starts this trade around the right corner. G-Man doesn't see him yet, but sees that PPC whip past. Then boom! 3 mechs pound Defunct right in the right torso. And as you can see, he was essentially dead. He was under 1 HP. And that's why his torso appears to be removed with that XL engine, but he's still alive. or something, because all it takes then is a
under 1
sneeze.
HP will have it appear like the component is lost, but still be there.
And then Jaeger stepping up with that Gauss Rifle, finishing him off. So that's the first big kill there. And Steel Jaguar uses that opportunity to step up. One last bite, gets caught in transition. Gets massive damage dealt to him. So there's only 4 mechs with, like, reasonable amount of HP left. But they're kind of split. They've got R13 down in the pit. They got Greem down in the pit, just trying to Pop-Tart over that arena wall. And they're segregated from the rest of their team. Piemaker goes in aggressively, and they're able to work him down. They actually have some of the lights join R13 down in that arena as well, but majority of SJR moving up that right side and just hitting some of those mechs in the backfield. But definitely starting to go the wrong way for 228 at this point. I don't know if there's anything they could have done better. And then, of course, Ed, with just a single PPC remaining, being stalked by T-Fun. Well played, Steel Jaguar, keeping it alive. Both teams in lobby. We're just waiting for them to get readied up, and then we'll be heading in to drop 3 on Canyon Network. Going back home. Home to Canyon. All right. Let's go take a look. As soon as those guys get re-readied. I love seeing all the people in chat sending their energy one way or another, cheering these teams on.
Someone should send the casters energy. I'm getting tired.
This is exhausting.
I know. I'm like, it's so much adrenaline flowing, and then between the matches, you're like, ugh. We have to go to work tomorrow. That should be a holiday.
That should be a crime.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Looks like both teams are readied up now.
All right, here we go. Had a little bit of musical chairs in the lances, but they look like they're all set. Let's take a look. All right, any big changes here to name? Looks like it's pretty straightforward. I do notice the missile variants for the Jenner 2Cs on 228 instead of small pulse.
That is true.
So let's get in and take a look.
Airsay, of course, in the Grasshopper. Once again. Kind of like Jaeger, I think they just kind of have an agreement. Playing Canyon, have to have the Grasshopper. Jaeger playing MWO, has to have the Timberwolf.
Well, they're very good in those chassis, man.
Yeah, I almost said the Tager there. That was a little weird.
Makes me wonder what Jaeger does on, like, Drop 1 MRBC.
Doesn't play it, probably.
Just doesn't play it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him. What if he had to play? What mech do you think he'd play?
What light mech looks the most like a Timberwolf? A Jenner, maybe? The big CT on him? You could put PPCs on a Panther. That might be the one to go.
Steel Jaguar on the move, setting up their usual spread. Looks like they've got Uncle Russ coming over, taking a look over Kappa, avoiding a little bit of LPL fire from R13. And that, does he run LPLs too? No, he's got PPCs, so it's Greem taking some shots at him with the 2 large pulse lasers, 6 small pulse. So it's got a little bit of brawl capability if need be. But Queen Blade trying for a corner cap on Epsilon, just barely sneaking that cap. I'm surprised Airside's not able to get an angle on him, but he actually takes it. Now Queen Blade actually moving up.
Pretty aggressive here. Kodiak's coming around the corner for 228. I don't know if SJR is ready for this.
Very hard. This kind of reminds me a little bit of that House of Lords push around that right side that one time. Steel Jaguar dropping down into the pit, but able to come back around the other ramp.
G-Man needs to be careful here. He is still not moving in that Kodiak.
Quicksilver also on that right side, walking to Theta across open ground, but if he wants to jump down, he's got a lot of ground to cover, and he's going to be punished the entire way down.
He is absolutely getting punished for this.
Gets shot in the back. He didn't get any crits, it looks like. Very lucky with that back shot to not have those Gauss rifles crit out on him. But once again, Steel Jaguar forced into the low ground, and Airasai once again is caught. That's the bad thing about Junkyard. When you got that aggressive push, Airasai has nowhere to go. And that's exactly what happened when House of Lords pushed in. But just like with House of Lords, 228 not pushing it now. They're going to allow Steel Jaguar to kind of regain their footing. They're going to have to be careful, though, because if SJR starts to set themselves up, they might be able to start getting these trades right back into them. Magician taking some hits there. Strike coming across. Left shoulder looks like it's a little bit open. But
and T-Fun just got ripped
open.
Oh,
here come the lights in the backfield again. They're jumping on Jaeger. Doing some dive bombing, jumping across the gap, tossing some shots down, but he's got to be careful not to get picked off. Staying very close to that wall, using that cover to escape, and then moving right back up to the high ground. Queenblade still back on the right side, but they are starting to pester SJR as they move up to the ramp. But they're going to get back on the high ground to meet up with 228 now. So if they can start landing some of these shots, they might be able to peel this back still. It is not over yet. But Quicksilver was extremely hurt in that Kodiak. A couple more taps to the CT or even a light gank to the rear, and he's going to have those Gauss rifles go down now. Big movement. Panic button in the Kodiak, backed up by those two lights coming down the left side. They don't know they're there. And this is going to be big. Magician is about to get a view on him. He got a hint. I think somebody saw him down there. But Panic Button now getting shot. They turn the tables on Panic Button and get a big kill, taking him out. Queenblade up right in the mix, and 228 is coming around hard. They're jumping
SJR
on
is
top
in a terrible
of
position right now.
They have guys in a bad position, but one last fight right in the backfield, trying to take Magician out with these backstabs. 3 dead mechs for Steel Jag, but they were able to take 2 mechs down for 228, and they are still in this. Jaeger getting pestered by 2 on the backfield.
Uncle Russ gets Charisman down and the Kodiak. Both Kodiaks
he's jumping
down
on
now for
Defunct
both
now.
teams.
The light is getting in there, and he's going to start doing some work. He's keeping Defunct occupied, getting some shots in. Left torso, 1 shot left torso, XL engine, and he takes him out, and that evened it right back up again. Steel Jake still down 1 mech. Ghost in the low ground.
Now.
T-Fun in the low ground, and it looks like Uncle Russ legged. He might go down here. He's going to try and sneak his way up to Ed.
Edmeister got a shot on him with that PPC Gauss Timberwolf and legged Uncle Russ. Is that Uncle Russ there?
That's Uncle Russ, and he goes down.
That is Uncle Russ, and he's down. That is huge.
Ed is still doing pretty good at this point. He's still pretty fresh, but Steel Jaguar has got to be sweating right now because they are everything is on the shoulders of these last 2 mechs.
I don't know if they can take it. They just don't have enough armor left. 2 on 4. And T-Fun's got to be really careful. He cannot be affording. Well, he can't leave his Hunchback alone. That's what he's doing.
Ghost is getting it jumped on right now, and he goes down.
And T-Fun backed off despite being the shorter range in mech.
And he's getting jumped on now, and this is all over.
Wow.
Steel Jaguar eliminated from the regional finals by 228 Blackwatch.
What an upset. 228 playing incredibly well. The 5th seeded team has an opportunity now to play for Vancouver.
Well played, 228. I couldn't have predicted that if I tried. If anybody's running a fantasy league right now, or
pick up Ed.
I mean,
pick up Ed.
If they're running a bracket themselves with predictions, somebody just got... Everybody's throwing their stuff away. All the paper brackets are in the garbage at this point. This is March Madness right here, just ruining brackets. But congratulations, 228, staying alive. And they will be moving up.
Wow.
To fight Imperial in match 8.
And congratulations to SJR. A great job in the qualifiers, in the regionals. Had some great matches there. Unfortunately, 228 just a little too strong for him.
Very aggressive movement around that outside, taking Airasai out on that back corner at Junkyard. I mean, that's not the first time that's happened. That is not the first time that's happened in that aggressive maneuver, being able to take him out. And then they slowed it down again. But then they got aggressive again, and they were able to work SJR down. But Panic Button getting caught in that bottom part. Somebody got eyes on him. Magician going down there and getting the work done, and it was so close. But high ground to low ground, you got to give it to high ground. They have the superior position, and were able to use that to their advantage. Uncle Russ getting in there and evening up again, but getting legged, that was big. If Uncle Russ still had both legs, that could have been really bad. But Ed still had a lot of armor left on that Timberwolf. It would have taken more than one shot to take him out.
He was fresh, and the Hunchback as well. Was it, what, 90% at the end of that game?
Seemed to be doing all right. I have to look at the replay, but first, let's do another Mech Pack giveaway. Wow! All of the energy that chat was sending 228. Apparently it's working, so keep it up, ladies and gentlemen, because something's going well for 228, and if you can keep that up, maybe they can stand against Imperial. Imperial has lost. They are human. They lost to SGR today. And with 228 beating SGR, maybe they've got something going in their favor here. And we'll have to see what happens. Hype, hype, hype. Teratoma Owner is the winner. Congratulations. Send Bandit B17 a whisper on Twitch with your in-game name and which standard mech pack you would like. Congratulations. All right, we are going to back to the replay. We're going to take a look at the replay, and then we're going to take a quick bio. But let's get in there and take a look at this replay. So, this is a standard setup we've seen from Steel Jaguar quite a few times. They go for that map control, really wide spread out with those lights on the Kappa side, but air side back in that junkyard on the left side, and then I jumped a little too far here. Queen Blade going for the corner. You know, nobody able to answer that. Nobody really trying. Maybe it's keeping them there, you know, long enough to worry about, hey, you know, Queen Blade's there. But I saw him start running forward. I'm like, that's odd. Why is he charging? And then you start yelling. I look to the left, and there's the main body for 228 going full bore into those Kodiaks. But already, Airsai caught all alone at Junkyard. No escape. It's the primary disadvantage to not having any of that scouting on the left side. The fact that 228 was effectively able to sneak up almost to that corner. Airsai should have been pulling out a long time ago, but must have gotten some return fire, must have dropped down and stopped looking, and 228 right on his doorstep, able to plug him as he tried to escape. You can see he was right back in here when he died. So back in the junkyard. Actually, the lights dropped on him right down there. Took him out. Yep, he's dead way back in the corner. Good play by those lights. Good heads-up play, getting him out of the picture. But SGR, once again, dropping into that low ground. But they were given the opportunity to get out. But now they're all in that central location. They're not spread out. They're not necessarily controlling the map like they were trying to do before. And, but like I said, 228's slowing down, starting to do some trades. I think that Steel Jaguar, during that trade phase, was able to actually start getting some work done. Lights doing some dive bombs, continuing to put some pain out into the backsides of Steel Jag as they left. So they didn't let up at all. But letting Steel Jag start to get a foothold again, started tossing it back in the other direction. Then Panic Button with a very ballsy maneuver, dropping down into the low area here, backed up by those lights, but a very aggressive push up in the backside. Somebody saw him, and I think it's this guy back here. It must be one of the light mechs. Spots him right here, makes the call. You see Magician going down to take a look, and starts popping CT right into Panic Button. And that's big, because taking out that Kodiak is huge. Starts flipping it in the other direction. Jaeger popping a little bit too far out to the outside. Defunct starts getting some hits in there. But there comes Uncle Russ. Working on Chrisman. Jumping up to him right there. Magician getting backcourt out by one last biter. At least worked on. Uncle Russ trying his best to take Chrisman out. Does get him. And then moves over to take on Defunct. A lot of separate little fights going on here. Uncle Russ able to go down. It was one shot shoulder on Defunct. Still doing fairly well. I'm not sure how his legs were doing at that point. Must have been... took some damage, but... Oh, that was that last PPC from Defunct to take the leg, wasn't it? He was jump jetting up and he got... he lost the leg right there. So it was like a... I think that was a death blow by Defunct. A gift to his team to take that light mech's leg out. And that sealed... pretty much sealed the deal on Uncle Russ there. Getting surrounded and mauled down. It looked to me like that was Defunct taking that leg. I saw sparks. Either that or he got the leg taken out as soon as he jumped up. But either way, good PPCing on those legs.
Wow. I'm stunned. 228 has been just... And the thing is, 228 came in 5th seed. They won their first match. Is that correct? Yeah, they beat Storm Jaguar. And then they lost to EMP.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've been hanging on. They beat Lords, the number 3 seed. They beat SJR, the number 2 seed. And here they are, a chance for a rematch.
They're going 4-3-2 and now Vancouver. 1. They are climbing at 4-3-2 because they killed us. The Stormjake's 4 seed. The Lord's 3. They're doing the countdown. Can they get to 1? That is the question. EMP's got to take these guys seriously. Because 228 is playing at an amazing level right now. But EMP, extremely dangerous. And it seems like 228 and SJR have very different play styles. Does what EMP got, you know, is it going to work better against 228's play style than SJR's play style? You know, this could still end up being a massive blowout, despite the fact that 228 beat SJR, and SJR won a drop against EMP and made it very close. It still could completely collapse for 228, but keep sending that energy in the chat because we want to see this one come down to a 3rd drop again. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But both teams getting in lobby. I'm going to switch back and do a super quick bio as they get readied up, but we'll be back very, very shortly here, so stick around.